Shalom Aleichem, everybody. Hope all is well. Today we have an interesting topic to speak about. It's an exciting topic, a little bit different than usual. But basically this topic is going to be about specifically cryptocurrency, wealth in general, and the coming of Moshiach. The reason why we're talking about these subjects that usually aren't popular on this channel is because Hashem tells us one thing. We should know Hashem in all of our ways. We should connect, that's a verse from the Torah, that we should use all of our involvements in life to connect to Hashem. And we know that even though Hashem is not physical, he's beyond the physical, he makes it so that he can relate to us through the Torah through physical analogies. And we can relate to him through physical examples to get an understanding of Hashem. To begin to get an understanding. We can never fully grasp Hashem, as we know, as the Zohar teaches us. So, basically the idea is that there's a few things. One thing is, when you look at cryptocurrency, you see that person, and obviously this is just an example, but to understand it, you can see with certain cases, people invested tiny amounts of money, maybe not even on purpose, maybe because they needed this currency, this cryptocurrency to exchange something, so they just bought it by accident or whatever, they had it lying around. And over the course of a little while, they not only did they quadruple their money, but they could have thousands of times fold their money. I've heard stories of people who invested, tens of thousands of dollars and now are worth hundreds of millions if they invested early. So why are we speaking about this? How does this relate to the Torah? Well, first of all, we can understand that what seemed at the time like a tiny investment is nowadays has a value of an incomparable amount greater than before. Somebody invested hundreds of dollars, now they're worth hundreds of thousands, hundreds of millions. We see that why are people so shocked by it? Because it's something that is not, we have trouble grasping it as out of the norm. With the stock market, with regular jobs that people work, it's unheard of to take your wealth from such a tiny amount to such a great amount in such a short amount of time. It's not that they made so much money or that they put so little and it turned into a lot. It's that it happened, all of this happened so quick. And that people who missed out on it surely would have wished they would have gotten involved earlier. So how does this relate to the Torah? It relates to the Torah because we know that the Torah is an investment. Just like a person who invested a tiny amount of money in this certain cryptocurrency, whether it's Bitcoin or Ethereum, whatever it may be, or Dogecoin, whatever the specific currency is, they put a tiny amount and their amount turned into a tremendous amount. Now this video is not to teach us about cryptocurrency and to say that these are the greatest investments and you have to invest in this or that, because we know that this is just an example. A cryptocurrency is not something that is guaranteed. Just because people made hundreds of times their money, thousands, millions of times their money, doesn't mean they're going to keep their money necessarily. God willing, everyone will succeed, but it's not reliable necessarily 100%. But it serves as a great analogy to understand the true investment in this world, Torah and mitzvahs, because Hashem is reliable. Unlike certain currencies or certain reliable goods or luxurious goods like gold and silver and special expensive goods, they are not completely reliable. The market could go up and down. And while people can make tremendous money at certain times, they could also lose tremendous money. But with Hashem, you're getting a clear investment that Hashem himself tells us, if you walk in my ways, he will open the heavens for you. If you walk in his ways, he will open the heavens for you. We learned on the Shema that he will give us blessings in this world and in the world to come if we follow his ways. So we can see that while the analogy, when we're talking about currency and wealth, that it's such a small investment turns into such a tremendous amount, even though that's not a full example of Hashem, because these currencies, like we said, can drop, but yet we see people who made tremendous gains. And that serves as an example, just a little glimpse at what Hashem is promising us. Because Hashem tells us, just like a cryptocurrency, this is something that I was thinking about that I found very interesting that I wanted to share with you guys. This is a different video than the usual type of stuff we deal with, but because I think it can allow us to connect to Hashem with a sharp example, I feel like it's something that could relate to all of us. Because Hashem, even though Hashem is beyond the physical, he wants us to relate to him in all of our ways. So There's no reason why we can't, since cryptocurrency is an interesting subject, and the Torah is the ultimate subject that Hashem wants us to involve ourselves with, why can't we relate the Torah to simpler things like cryptocurrency and wealth to get just a little drop of what Hashem's trying to tell us? Because a lot of times, if you'll notice, rabbis, they'll give examples like building a building, construction, and working on the soul. A lot of times, rabbis will give you analogies to enclose the Torah within. Let's say you're talking to a sports player. You're going to talk about how us going up against the Yetzer Hara is like a battle in the sports game. You want to keep going. You want to trick the opponent. You want to outsmart the opponent. You want to be more confident in the opponent. So a lot of times we like to relate the Torah to physical analogies. So one thing that I found very interesting is that just like cryptocurrency, it has such a tremendous value, certain coins, whether it's Bitcoin, whatever it may be, but it's invisible. You can't really see it. It's not like a coin that you could hold it. It's invisible, and it's also like this, like on a debit card or a thing. It's an invisible, valuable thing. It's an invisible thing that has a lot of value. That, and how much more so when we're talking about doing a mitzvah, doing a good deed for someone else. It is purely godliness. When you choose to follow the Torah, you choose to do the mitzvahs, and you do a good deed for someone else, it is pure godliness. But sometimes we cannot see it because we are in a physical world, and the Moshiach hasn't yet come. And we're still living in the times of exile, so things are in concealment. But we know for a fact that the Torah is one with Hashem, and we are one with Hashem. So when we involve ourselves in the Torah, we reveal our unification with Hashem. But it is sometimes we have to realize that these investments that we're making, putting on tefillin, learning Torah, giving charity, connecting to others, smiling, these are investments that are going to infinite fold. If you think investing a little bit in Bitcoin 10 years ago was great, imagine investing a little bit in Hashem. And Hashem promises to reward. Hashem promises to deliver. Even though we don't serve Hashem for a reward, we serve Hashem because that's what He wants. But still, He still tells us, if you serve me, you will be rewarded. So, this is something very interesting. And we know, to take it a step further, we know that actually in the days of Mashiach, wealth will change. Because we know that the death will be swallowed up forever, as stated in Isaiah, and there will be no more hunger in the days of Mashiach. There will not be poverty. People will not be hungry. People will not be suffering as a result of finances. So it's interesting to note that this is all happening with cryptocurrency, not to say that there's not infinitely more room to help the poor, but it's just interesting how we see the wealth is changing as we know it. Something that's invisible has value. So it's interesting to see how Hashem is shaking up the system in preparation for the days of Mashiach. And people could actually use, it's interesting because people who had successful investments in cryptocurrency, it's interesting. I've heard of people sending cryptocurrency as charity to the synagogues, to the Jewish organizations that help spread Hashem's Torah, to the righteous Gentiles, the Noahides. So it's interesting how you can elevate also these coins, which are wealth. You can use it for godly purposes. And it's not just with cryptocurrency. I spoke about cryptocurrency a lot because it's a new, exciting topic that I felt hit the analogy well of an investment that can be so much larger than you could have ever imagined. But also this is with money, any physical money. It's with, any type of wealth you have, whether it's your time. You want to give your time for Hashem. You are investing your time in Hashem. Time is wealth. Time is the ultimate currency, ultimate wealth. It's interesting to note that what's going on is we have absolutely just started to taste what Hashem is about to reveal to us into the world for the days of Mashiach. All the deep secrets. The internet is a tremendous development that is expanding the rate in which we could spread Hashem's word throughout the world. So it's just interesting to think about these things, that through these different types of analogies we can relate to Hashem. And this is really the way we relate to Hashem. That everything we do, we have to think about it in a godly way. Whatever it may be, sometimes, I'll give you an example, another interesting example. Like, I was sleeping in a freezing cold bedroom a little while ago, a couple of years ago. And I remember that it was so cold, and the heater, it was like a little heater that I had in the room. It was it wasn't even like scratching the surface of heating up the room. The room was so cold that the heater was barely comforting me. So I brought another heater into the room, and I brought another heater. And then finally the heaters were starting to overpower the coldness of the room, that the rate in which the room was getting heated was faster than the rate in which the heat was leaving the room. If that makes sense on a scientific level. But so to speak, basically when there was only one heater, the heat was not even denting it was not enough to warm up the room, basically. And it made me realize that, what's the point of all this? It made me realize that the more we expand with each other, the more we cause others to bring kindness, it helps us. We build off each other. Shem, we are all equal before Shem. Maybe when we compare to each other, he knows more than she knows more than him, and he knows more than her, and so on and so forth. But in comparison to Hashem, we are all equal. We are all one with Hashem. We are all infinitely tiny in comparison to Hashem. So therefore, we are all the children of Hashem. And even if a person feels greater than another person, so on and so forth, we all serve an individual role that only we specifically can accomplish. Because a person could say, "Oh, I'm the brain," because we're all likened to a body. We're all part of the same general body, the body of the soul of Adam Arishon. All of our souls are part of this general soul of Israel, the soul of Adam Arishon. And says, so a person could say, "Oh, I'm the brain. I'm much higher than you." So what's the other person? The kidney. Well, if as great as the brain is, the brain can't survive without two functioning kidneys, and so on and so forth. So each and every one of us needs each other. Even I remember thinking of an example, like even the smallest piece of skin, which is seemingly the lowest part of the body. Let's say there's a soul that's related to like a part of the skin, so to speak, spiritually. If the skin rips, the whole body, God forbid, all the internal organs and the blood and all the fluids are out. The body cannot survive without the skin. So skin, while it's seemingly the most outer part of the body, it keeps the whole body together and in form. So too, all of us, we should know our worth, know our value. Just like we saw these coins, these cryptocurrency, these monetary systems that were seemingly so weak, and now they have so much value. We should know that whenever we feel weak, we should know that we're beyond infinitely great. These are just coins, they're just cryptocurrencies. They're not so guaranteed. They're impressive that they have value, and there's potential to make a lot of wealth and success, and to take your investments to tremendous heights, unimaginable heights. But yet these are still physical, limited things. But with Hashem, it's beyond infinite. With the Torah and mitzvahs, with the good deeds, that is a guarantee. That is beyond infinite. So let us invest, put our money, put our time, put our effort, put our energy, put our faith in the one above, in Hashem, and He will surely deliver. He promises us that He will deliver. May Hashem bless you all, and may today be the day that we see the days of Moshiach, where there will be no more hunger, no more suffering. We're all, one by one, go to the Holy Land to welcome Hashem's revelation, to welcome Hashem as He reveals Himself into the world completely. Thank you so much. May Hashem bless you all.